And this is the reason why, is because you're aggregating. So finance, let's say finance has 4 business processes associated with it. 4. And then operations has 4. And then sales has 4. And then HR has 2 because they're lazy or whatever, right? So now we've got 4 and 4 and 4, that's 12, and 2 is 14. So that's 14 data models. 14 models to support the reporting that you need. If you do it properly, and you can hack it, and you can try and do this in 8 days if you want to. You build 14 data models, and then you need to build reporting for each one of these processes so that you can check the numbers, right? So let's say the first one is GL reporting. This is GL, this is payroll. This is what else do finance do? Like maybe something else, forecasting, whatever. Like you get the gist. So you got to build a report for GL, make sure that's correct. Build a report for payroll, make sure that's correct. Make sure that the forecasting's correct. Make sure the other one's correct. Make sure the operations, stock on hand is correct. And then you've got stock movement, which is a totally different thing, even though it sounds the same as stock on hand. And then you've got warehousing or something else. And then you've got something else associated with operations. And then in sales, you've got lead to cash, which is your sales pipeline. And then you've got in sales, you've also got things like, I don't know, expense claims or something else. And so you've got all these different things, but you need to aggregate it up into a single report. Now, if you're doing it properly, you should say to them, okay, let's talk about the processes. This is why we need to include process. Because if you do people and data, then you try and just build 4 reports here, and you get swamped with all sorts of horrific things happening. But if you focus on the processes, you say, cool, you want to build some board reporting for finance. What are the different processes that we need to report on? And they say, oh, we need to do GL and we need to do payroll. And then every time they mention a new process, you add a new data model to your list of data models you need to build. And each data model could support 20 reports. Like, it doesn't actually matter. The model's the important thing. The reports themselves are just report pages. They only take a couple of days at most to build each one, and sometimes only a couple of hours. If you've got a really good model, you can build a report really quickly. And you can create self-service, right? And all that kind of stuff. But the models associated with the processes is what is going to drive the success of this board report. And that's not easy. That's not easy. And you have mixed things. The metrics onion. Oh, this is good. Yeah, so multiple unrelated processes, but one single view of the business means you have to build all of the underlying processes first, the models for the underlying processes first, so that you can create the final report. That's the proper way to do it. I don't know if anyone's ever done it in the history of the world, but that's how you're supposed to do it. So the board report is unfortunately the one you have to do last, not first. You can't do it first. It's like, if you try and do it first, you're just going to end up in the weeds, is how you can do it. You can pretend to do it first, like you can kind of mock it up and start bringing relevant pieces in, but you have to always keep in mind that you're still needing to eventually turn into this multi-model thing. And you'll see everybody does it. So if you're doing it right now, don't feel like, oh no, I'm doing things the wrong way. What everybody actually does is they go, cool, I'll bring in some finance data, and then I'll bring in some ops data, and then I'll bring in some sales data, then I'll bring in some HR data, and then I'll bring in some more data, and then some more data, and then some more data, and then I've got some dimensions that are all happening out the outside. But then the context is wrong, so I have to create a many-to-many relationship between this dimension and that dimension to make that piece work, and then I have to do this one. But then this one is at the different granularity, so I have to create a bridge table here, and then bridge that one to this one, and because of the mixed contexts within your data model, you end up with a giant mess, and it really hard to deliver the board report. But if you had all of these nicely built in data models, nicely, beautifully done, life becomes so much easier. Look at that scribble. There you go. It's the metrics onion. This is another meme from Shelley. Let's look at it. How many users have we got? Active or ever? Active, I guess. All or only paid? Paid. Subscriptions are one-off, meaning including lapsing. What's lapsing? What's it for? Yeah, that's so true. This is like this is one question. Now, how many employees do we have, right? And so this is what it's like. And then yeah, averages deceive, etc., etc. That's a good one. There you go. So it gets hard, gets really, really hard to do board reporting. It's just it's not like sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's hard and sometimes it's easy because you get lucky, right? And if you're someone who's like, Greg doesn't know what he's talking about. I delivered a board report and I had no problems. It was fine. We just pulled the data in. It's honestly, it's just because you were lucky. You were just lucky. I'm sorry. Wasn't skill related. You're just lucky that the data was there and it was available to you. All right. So if we do get a request for a board report or some kind of consolidated report, it's the same deal. Who are the people? What are the processes? And then what is the data? Rock data. Same thing. Answer those three questions and you will save yourself a lot of gray hairs.